going to be scrambling, paying off their student debt. You're just going to use this rental property. Don't sell it. Hold on to it. If it's paid off by then, great. It'll be making ridiculous cash flow. If it's not, just hold it. It'll be paid off soon. And you use it to pay off, like it's insane. Like when you look at these things, I look at it like other people, like each property is a person with a job, and they're giving me their paycheck, and after you have it for 30 years, or maybe you pay it off early, you figure out how to do that. You put more down on principal or whatever, that you don't have to pay for your principal and interest anymore. Your mortgage is cut down. So all you have to do is pay like some taxes and insurance. All of a sudden you're now making a ridiculous amount of cash flow off of each property. So if you buy 10 now, with like, let's say you go in with your parents and you're still a young buck in the military and you're like in your 20s, and you're like, hey, I'm going to buy 10 properties with my parents and my aunts and uncles. And then like 30 years down the road, all of those are paid off. Over those 30 years, they were all increasing in rent by 3%. And now you're just, what is that? Do the math, guys. It's going to be paycheck you're going to be making. Like that is, and those are assets. You wrap them in an LLC, and you have like this fund for your family now, and all of a sudden, everything's figured out. It sounds like I'm preaching some super crazy magical scheme, but it's not. It's 90. I think it was Carnegie said that like 95% of American millionaires got there through real estate. It's the cornerstone. And I'm not saying don't do other things. Like you said, this is just one of the stools, but this is a solid stool. This is a solid leg of this.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you're totally correct. So kind of looking at, we'll do sort of a couple questions about character traits here. What would you say is your greatest strength?
Honestly, I think I look to the future a lot, and I think I use my past experiences to drive my future aspirations. I talked about this with Chris Coker a little bit, and he kind of coached me through understanding what I was even saying. Honestly, he called it positive feedback loops. I tell people like, hey, the one thing that pushes me along is often just remembering a past experience. And for some reason for me, it was when I was in Calc 2, I was at the Naval Academy. I was taking Calculus 2, and my mind was blown when I walked into the class. And then 3 or 4 months later, I was taking the final exam, and I got the second highest grade in the class. And I realized that looking back, and I was like, wow, I've gotten so far along. It was just like, just eating away that elephant one bite at a time. And here I am. Well, I then forced myself to realize that that's how every single thing is going to be in my life. Whenever I start a new thing, I might not know a single thing about it. Martin Luther King said, like, you're not going to see the top step, but still take the first step, or whatever. I'm paraphrasing it, but down the road, a year later, and that's what's driving me, is imagining myself a year later, I'm going to be able to look back proudly and say like, holy cow, this year went by lickety split. I didn't even realize it, because all I did is spend maybe half an hour a day, but times 365 days, I've put in 365 or more hours into this company, little by little, and now it's this huge thing. And that's the positive feedback loop. Is you look back at a previous experience that had that moment where you were able to look back and know, wow, look how far I've come, and say to yourself when you're starting a new thing, like, hey, that's going to happen to me with this thing. I'm going to be able to look back, and that's just something that's just honestly, like, I didn't do that on purpose. It just happened for me on accident. I started applying that with every single thing I did. I started thinking like, I'm going to look back at this a year down the road, and it's going to be awesome. Same thing with flight school. Like, I'm going to look back at this when I get my wings, and I'm going to be like, holy cow, 2.5 years later, whatever it was, 2 years later, here I am. I did it,
Yep. So on the flip side of that, what would you say your greatest weakness would be then?
I'm not going to give one of those answers like, oh, I focused too much, or I paid too much into detail, like kind of the hidden positives, but that people try to spin as a negative. I'm going to try to say something that is really, I think it's something I still struggle with, and it's kind of paying attention to the now. And this is more of a family and a life thing. Like I sometimes think too far into the future, and I focus too much on what our future financial situation is going to be and how awesome it's going to be down the road, instead of kind of just taking pleasure in the now. So it might be part of that work, life, family integration piece. And I think I just need to, I don't think I can ever be perfect at it. I always need to work on myself. And that's kind of one of my struggles, is really trying to make sure I take pleasure in the now with my company, with my family, with everything. Sure.
So what's the place that you go to get your best ideas when you're needing to brainstorm? Is there like in nature or somewhere in your house, or is there a special spot you go to?
Honestly, it's in my car. I commute way too much, like an hour in the morning and an hour in the afternoon. I turn on a podcast or I just listen to music, and I just think. Like I call my car the Automobile University. I wrote a blog post on that, and I just podcasts, audiobooks, you name it. And then those just get my mind racing. Like I need to hear somebody else's thoughts. I need to hear another angle, and then I'll like add my own kind of ideas. And that's where I kind of, my car is where everything happens.
Okay, cool. So kind of to wind up, I have a special question here. Since you are a Marine, we'll give you the special Marine wrap up question.
Yeah.
If you're to be a new color of crayon, what color would that be, and how would you describe it?
If I'd be a color crayon, I would be cobalt. I remember seeing that crayon color. I think Crayola made it, and it became kind of my favorite color, because my favorite color is always blue when I was a kid. And I think if you realize I think our website is mostly cobalt. It's like this darker blue. And that particular crayon actually had a little bit of like this sparkly, I don't know. It wasn't like glitter. It was just, it had a little bit of a twinge of, something that made it kind of stand out and be shinier than just a regular crayon. And I don't know, that just popped into my head. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I love dark blue. Our website is blue and gold. I came from the Naval Academy, but it's a dark blue. And I think I don't think we're like some people say you don't need to be the loudest guy in the room. You just need to be, I think that color is about us. We're just, if you're interested and if you want to learn about what we're doing, we are very deep. We're a deep color, but we're not like screaming for attention. We're not yellow, I guess. I don't know, meta there, but there you go.
Okay. So I guess, as we're closing off here, the final thing I would say is just, what are some good contact methods for people to get a hold of you, to reach out to you? And you have your website, activedutypassiveincome.com, I think you said. But how do people get a hold of you?
Our website has all of our little profiles. If you go to the team page there, you guys can contact me via Instagram. It's just Markian. So here's my name. It's spelled like Mark and Ian smushed together. It's like Markian. So that's my name. It's a weird Ukrainian name. So Instagram at Markian. Our Twitter is at AD Passive Income. Our Facebook page is so first of all, our Facebook group, we have a direct URL that goes to our Facebook group, is www.militaryrealestateinvesting.com. And we have over 1,000 members there. It's completely free. You just have to make sure you answer the questions on the front. We want to make sure you guys are somehow affiliated to the military before you join. And we just talk about real estate, and we have live Q&As in there all day long. It's awesome. And then our website, like you said, is activedutypassiveincome.com. My email is markion at activedutypassiveincome.com. Just any of those methods. If you drop on our website, we have a little chat bot. You can message in there. Guess who's probably going to respond? It's probably going to be me, and you guys can connect with me that way. So, yeah, all of those methods.
Cool. So, I mean, several websites, and Twitter, Facebook, the whole gamut, emails. So now people know how to get a hold of you, and there's no excuse to not be able to learn how to do what you're doing. And if they're interested in learning more, then the resources are there. So Markian, it was a pleasure having you on the program today. Thank you for coming in and spending some time, carving time out of your schedule, here on a holiday, there for you. So, I appreciate it. And as I always say to every guest, I'll see you around the bend, my friend.
All right. Thank you. Take care. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thanks a lot, brother. You've been listening to Legacy Cast. Thank you for joining us today, and be sure to come back next time as we speak with more top influencers, industry experts, and business owners from around the world.